Welcome to Reflections, a program where we discuss values and virtues for the transformation of the individual and the society in general. I am Father George Ehusani, and I have with me in the studio, once again, my friend, Dike Chukwumerije. Dike, you're welcome.
It's a pleasure to be here again.
Thank you for the first session we had on Nigeria de-escalating the rising tension. I would want us to have a second segment to discuss the same issue, de-escalating the tension through strategic communication, peace-building communication, peace-promoting communication. You are, I would say, wordsmith. You are a performing artist from point of view of performing the spoken word. Dike Chukwumerije is a lawyer, but his engagement that everybody knows about is performing the spoken word. Poetry particularly, but also prose, and celebrating our diversity, not as a burden, but as a gift. Mm-hmm. Our diversity in this country as a resource, a powerful, wonderful, God-given resource that we should exploit for good. Recognizing that every nation that has made it, I mean, the richness of America is on account of its diversity. Never mind the Trumps that are talking about building walls. Yeah. It is the immigrants that have built America. Yeah. Those in this country we will call settlers. Yeah. Everybody who is anybody in America is a settler. Yeah. So, Dike celebrates that diversity from the Kanuri to the Hausa to the Fulani to the Tiv and the Idoma and the Kaje and the Kataf of the north to the Kalabari, the Ijo, the Igbo, the Yoruba, the Robo of the south. He uses poetry to celebrate this richness as a gift, not a curse, not a burden. So, among his poems are The Bridge and the Wall.
The Wall and the Bridge.
The Wall and the Bridge. Yeah. And I recall that when he speaks, I've watched a number of his talks on YouTube, people are enwrapped with attention because of the power of the spoken word. Yesterday we reflected on how, at least at the introduction of the last segment, we reflected on how today people don't seem to value or appreciate or recognize the power of the spoken word. Yeah. Somebody watched our first segment. And in the introductory part of our first segment, we talked about the power of the spoken word and how the spoken word is meant to be performed, not just read. And sent me a reaction and said he was looking forward to more discussion on that, and referred to the ancient Egyptian poetry, ancient Egyptian esoteric performance of the spoken word. And so today I want us to discuss this from point of view of peace-building communication, strategic communication for peace using the spoken word. Yeah.
I mean, words are powerful. You know, and it's not unfortunate, we just live in a time where we have forgotten it. Particularly for mobilization, social mobilization, words are powerful. In Nigeria today, words have been shoved to one side, and instead people are using money to mobilize. So you pay people to follow you, you know, and that is not leadership. Leadership is not following someone for what they can give to you. Leadership is not following someone for where they are coming from. Leadership is following someone for where they are going to. Mm-hmm. And where you're going to, your destination is always articulated through your words. Yes. You know, so words are that vehicle that gives you hope. It shows you a future where you're going to. And specifically to the question of nation building and strategic communication, words in Nigeria are particularly important because of our diversity. A lot of times people are not able to hear each other when they communicate because what they see, first of all, is where you come from or what your religion is. So many times when you're talking, the person can't even hear you.
What you're saying.
Because your tribe is talking louder than your words. Your religion is talking louder than what you're saying.
The prejudices are affecting what you hear.
You know, so that is why you even need greater skill in the crafting of words, because you're coming against a lot of prejudice. It's like a lot of static around the person. So you need to find the right words, not just the right words, but the right tone in which to speak, to pierce through that.
I mean, what I am hearing is that you use the word crafting. And I really wonder how many of our viewers, how many of our people recognize that word is a craft. To speak is a craft.
Yeah.
It's a skill that you need to learn.
Yeah.
It doesn't happen. And language and the creative use of words to communicate actually is one of the most spectacular dimensions of our human evolution.
Yeah. Yeah.
No other living creature developed language.
Yeah.
And our technology to be able to fly to the moon is because we were able to communicate with one another. That's how technology started.
Yeah, yeah. That ability to communicate, to find the right words, it's immortality. It's the closest a human being can come to immortality. In the material plane. Mm-hmm. Because the moment you anchor it in words, it lives on. Whether you are here, whether you're not here, your words are speaking, and they continue to speak. And I'm somebody that, you know, the Christian Bible starts with, in the beginning, you know, I mean, you know what I mean? The beginning was the Word.
The beginning was the Word.
And it is something I have deep faith in. It doesn't start with gone. It doesn't start with money.
It
starts with speaking the right word in the right tone. It's like if you're a band, there is somebody that sets the meter for the entire song. It's like the metronome. Once you have the metronome, then you build the entire song. You build whatever you're doing on that metronome. The word is the metronome. One of the reasons why our society is dysfunctional is because the right words have not been spoken at the right place in the right way.
As you are saying, rather than learn the skill of speaking the word, people are using money to buy followership. I mean, the best leaders in this world used to be also the best speakers.
Yeah. Yeah.
For good or for ill. For example, I think of Martin Luther King Jr. And what an orator he was. How good he was in using words. Then on the other extreme, I think of Adolf Hitler, who held the people spellbound when he spoke. And they were ready to go and kill after he finished speaking.
It is the most powerful form of leadership, the one that is evoked by words. There is no amount of money you can pay someone that will cause them to give you loyalty that is stronger than the loyalty offered to someone who speaks. A vision that resonates in the heart and the soul of the listener. And that is when we are asking for leaders in Nigeria, that is what we're looking for. We're not looking for people who you are following because of Babariga or Kaftan, because of the make of the car they are driving. It doesn't matter if I am walking. After all, Jesus Christ, did he have a car?
No.
He spent his whole life.
But the word.
But when you follow somebody because of the word, the power of when they speak, what you see, when somebody speaks and it opens the eyes of your heart, of your soul, and you see in another dimension, now that's leadership. That's the sort of person you should follow. So when you begin to have people speaking over the nation, over Nigeria, in a way that opens the hearts and souls of Nigerians, gives them hope. There is no force that is more powerful than hope and faith. It is more powerful than hate.
Oh, yes.
Hope and faith is more powerful than hate. Love is the strongest force in this world that we live in.
Yes.
So when you have somebody who speaks words that suddenly brings rivers of love and hope flowing out of people's hearts, then you have something you can
that the words we hear, they have the capacity to elicit emotions, negative emotions or positive emotions. And so when I hear about the fact that Nigeria is beautiful, and I hear of the tropical climate, the rainforests, the savanna regions, and I hear of, all year round good weather, and so on and so forth, what does it bring in me? Positive emotions about my country.
Which is the seed of patriotism. Which is why sometimes I often wonder, you need to have bards, poets, singing about the hills, the desert, the rain, the sun. You need to begin to evoke an emotional connection with this geophysical space that we live in. The Niger Delta, the Mandara Mountains, the Dahomey Basin, the Sahara Desert, the Sahel. You call the names of our trees, you call the names of our birds, you call the names of our climate with love. And as people listen to it, they begin to to reconnect again with the land, because we are children of this geophysical space that we find ourselves in. So Nigeria, I always tell people that nation building is first and foremost a function of the artist. It is, every nation is fiction, every nation is a story. Every nation is a story told, a narrative. And it's in the hands of your writers, your songwriters,
what type of narrative?
What type of narrative is going out there? Nigeria is not just bling bling. Nigeria is not just corruption. Nigeria is not just anyhow. There are stories that are not being told. There are deep stories in this land of sacrifice.
So artists have a lot of responsibility.
They have a lot of responsibility to evoke the spirit of a nation. It is the word that gives life. When people say Nigeria is a geographical, every nation is a geographical entity. Somebody spoke life and the nation came alive.
Yes.
Who is going to do that? It's not the politician. The politician only comes after to administer what has come alive. It is because we have politicians trying to administer what is not living. It is the artist that speaks life into a community, into a society, that takes their stories and evokes it. And all of a sudden, you have this living entity that everybody can connect to. That's why when people tell me that, oh, Nigeria is dead. Nigeria will be dead unless I say Nigeria should live.
Be alive.
I don't wait for Nigeria to rise up. It can't.
It
is my words that bring her to life.
I have to speak Nigeria to life.
I have to speak Nigeria to life. And I am aware of my responsibility. I'm aware of what I need to do. And so I do it very consciously and it's not because I don't see the poverty. It's not because I don't see the corruption. But it's also because I see that there is a siege, there is a fragility that you need to support with your words so that it can
come alive. Earlier today, I was speaking about the fact that this ancient wisdom that beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What does that mean with regards to Nigeria? Beauty is in the eye. It means that I choose to see beauty. I choose to see colors. I choose to see giftedness, resource, potentials that are waiting to be explored, exploited. If I choose to see that, then they will be there.
Yes.
I mean, I can see an Ijoman and see a very resourceful person coming from this rich Delta region with all the tributaries and then the long historical richness of that area. I can choose to see that, or I choose to see militant that is shooting foreigners.
Or even to put it in the context of what is happening now, the government can look out of the window, could have looked out of the window, and in those protesters, could have seen young people marching without tribe or tongue, holding the Nigerian flag with pride, singing the national anthem, praying when have you seen that before?
I mean, it was fantastic.
Instead of seeing troublemakers, you see people who the love of a nation has united. Is that not what we have been praying for?
And connected with their friends from all over the world.
All over the world. So you can see that perception is everything in life. You can choose to see the fact that they are opposing you or they are disagreeing with something you're doing, or you can choose to see the fact that this is the nascent, the emergence of a national consciousness that is more precious than any disagreement you may have with them now. And this is like when Peter made that confession and Jesus said, this is the rock upon which I'll build my church. That emergent nationalism is the rock upon which a nation is built. You don't attack it.
Yes.
Even if it's rough, it grazes you, it bruises you, don't attack it.
At the end of the day, Dike, my hope is that the leaders who felt threatened and decided to crush that protest, my hope is that even now they are regretting.
I hope so.
And that whatever they can do, that those who are conscientious among them are doing right now whatever they can do to turn the wheel back.
Turn that narrative
and see that we almost lost a wonderful opportunity.
A beautiful baby is being born. Of course there will be blood. Of course there will be screams of pain. But you don't lose sight that this is a childbirth.
Yes.
We're not at a funeral.
No.
We're in the delivery theater. A baby is coming out. So you are careful with the baby. This is what I expected. People who call themselves, oh, I am the father of a nation. If you're the father of a nation, how did you not recognize that your boy or your girl is giving birth to a child here? Yes. How didn't you see that? you cannot be the father of the nation because you're not sensitive to the evolution of the nation.
Talking about strategic communication for peace building, strategic communication for national integration, to galvanize the disparate ethnic groups, religious groups into one people. Do you have any poem of yours to share? Because I know you have many.
All my poems are about this. For the last 10 years, this has been my muse. You know, just trying to bring people together, trying to articulate what connects us as Nigerians. I came into a scene where I found that what was constantly articulated was what divided us.
What divided?
And I said, come on, there are so many things that connect us. You know, Federal Government College, many of us went there. We have the same boarding school experience, waking up at 5 o'clock. Even NYSC is a common experience that we all share. You know, if you look at even the miseries, our common miseries, the broken roads, the no light. Over the years, we've evolved.
We have shared this experience.
Shared language. You know, I always tell people, if I say, oh, shine your eye, ginger your swagger, I'm not speaking Igbo.
No.
I'm not speaking Yoruba. I'm not speaking Hausa. I'm speaking Niger. Because the Nigerian culture, the Nigerian identity has come alive. If you look at the music, the beats,
yes.
You know, I always use the example of Fino. That Fino most times is rapping in Igbo. Somebody, a Yoruba person is dancing to him, an Hausa person is dancing to him because the beat, yes. The Afro beat is something that they recognize. I tell people, how many of us, if I ask people of that generation, how many people cannot remember that first time when Yekini scored our first goal at the World Cup and ran into the net and held the net and
yes.
It's a collective memory. We all stood up. We all stood up in pride at this man that had registered our name on the world stage. So these are the building blocks. These are the things that you take. And as an artist, you take them and you begin to stitch them together so that narrative of nationhood begins to emerge. People that said there is nothing like a Nigerian identity, it's all fake, it's only Igbo, Hausa, Yoruba that are authentic identities. You begin to say no. An identity is like a tailor. You take material and you start cutting it. So as Nigerians have been living together, they've been creating material just lying everywhere. As an artist, you're the tailor that takes that material,
stitch them together,
and you put it on this person. All of a sudden, there's a beautiful person, well dressed in front of you.
When I was growing up, there were two programs on TV. I mean, we were limited to how many televisions. The NTA was about the only one we could watch. Yeah. There was Cock Crow at Dawn. There was Village Headmaster. They celebrated the Nigerian environment, the Nigerian culture. I mean, it was beautiful.
It's beautiful.
So this was a Nigerian narrative, pan-Nigerian. Those who acted Cock Crow at Dawn came from different parts of the country. Yeah. Those who acted Village Headmaster came from different parts of the country.
Yeah.
And we need more of that strategic communication. We need our artists to be deliberate in this because they have power.
Very deliberate in it. I'm not saying don't sing about, entertainment and having fun, but realize that you have a responsibility to nation building as an artist. You're in a very unique position because you speak to the heart. And it is the heart that is key, not the intellect.
And the word creates.
It creates that access. I always tell people that on paper, Nigeria has the laws, it has the rules, it has the regulations. If you look on paper, everything is almost perfect. The trouble is not the paper. The trouble is not the brain. The trouble is the heart. That is why the artist is important, because you speak to the heart. Mm-hmm. You begin to reshape the heart so that when the heart is right, then everything that is on paper will then start flowing naturally. But when you have people who don't even love the nation, there is no love for the. You cannot build a nation you don't love.
No.
Nigeria is not just a project, a development project for somebody to come and dig bore. It's not digging borehole that will develop the country. No. There is a love that has to come out of the heart. And it is the artist, it's the creative that evokes that love. So that when you're driving from Abuja, you're going down to Lokoja, and you look at the hills, and it inspires something within you. When you come to where the two rivers meet, and you understand the symbolism of two totally different rivers meeting in peace in Lokoja.
When I went to the US and first heard John Denver's song, Almost Heaven, West Virginia, Blue Ridge Mountains, Shenandoah River. Life is older than the hills, higher than the mountains. When I heard it, I started take the country road. When I heard it, it brought emotions to me. Why? Because I come from a place with high ridge mountains. I come from Okene in Kogi State, where you have those kind of hills that John Denver was describing. And I'm saying, what you are saying is, why can't our artists be celebrating the beauty of...
Evoke it.
Yes.
Evoke it. You know, it's like in our villages, you know, you evoke a masquerade. Yes. I know it's a Christian setting, but let me use that as a metaphor.
Yes, of course.
You have to say something for it to manifest.
Yes.
That's how a nation is. You have to call the nation to life.
Yes.
You have to call the name. You have to call the rivers. You have to call the hills. You have to call out the personality. You have to call out the life of Nigeria. So I always remember, there's this picture I have of the Bible, how the Spirit of God was brooding over the waters.
At the beginning. At
the beginning, before the words started coming. So you're brooding over the geophysical space, over the geocultural space. Everything is before you, and you allow it to inspire you.
And then there was an invocation.
An invocation.
Let there be light.
You don't say, I won't listen to the Hausa person. I won't listen to. No, you're open. You take it all in. You breathe in the entire country, and then you speak without prejudice, openly. You just speak. If your heart goes towards the Fulani, why do you say no? Fulani people are our natural enemies. When within you feel that something within you moves towards them, or if it moves towards the Yoruba, you say no, I can't cross the Niger. Why? Allow your spirit to go where it wants. Let it wander across this land. That is the job of the artist.
The spirit hovered over the waters at the beginning, and then it was heard. The word was heard. Let there be light. The power of the word. Then in the New Testament, the Gospel of St. John, chapter 1, verse 1, in the beginning was the word. The word was with God, and the word was God. So we who are Christians, we know about this.
We know about this.
So why don't we put it to work?
You need to put it to work. Before an artistic renaissance, a spiritual awakening always precedes a material awakening. Before society wakes up materially, it wakes up spiritually,
ideologically,
intellectually, ideologically, creatively first. So before we sent spaceships to the moon, people were writing sci-fi. That is, imagination travels first, ahead of science. Of course. So in Nigeria, when we are limiting our imagination to what is, that's why we don't grow.
Instead of what is possible.
What is possible. Forget what is. Just forget it completely. Travel with your imagination, following the footpaths of your conviction, your true. Don't ask yourself, how will it happen? Just follow your intuition. Let it take you to the future.
I will share with you after our recording, I will share with you a poem that I call Prophetic Imagination. If you look at the book of Isaiah, where Isaiah celebrates the messianic times, when the lion will lie down, where the
sword is beaten into the plowshare,
where the child will play into the hole of a viper and will not be hurt. That is what is called prophetic imagination. Don't limit yourself to what is. Begin to live today in a world that ought to be, in a Nigeria that ought to be. And then that imagination is an invocation that will bring it.
People often ask me, why are you so optimistic? I'm optimistic because I am looking, there is something I see.
Yes.
That's where I draw my strength from. I'm not looking at what is. Because what is a manifestation of the past.
It's limiting.
Do you understand? It doesn't feed me. So I'm looking at things that feed me in the future. And I want this thing I said at the beginning, that love is the most powerful force. Whenever I don't feel love, I'm not comfortable. Even if I'm fighting you, let me fight you out of love.
Yes.
Not hate, not bitterness. Let love always be my motivation.
Hate is self-defeatist, my brother.
It is. Nothing positive can come out of a hateful spirit.
I was speaking earlier and I was quoting Martin Luther King Jr., who says that defeating violence, attempting to defeat violence with violence is adding deeper darkness to a night already devoid of stars.
Yeah.
So if you add darkness to darkness, you don't get light.
You don't.
So
you don't.
Our brothers and sisters who are out there, who are thinking that this is a time for revenge, this is a time for fire. Fire does not quench fire.
No.
It is water that puts off fire.
I mean, the stars shine brightest in the darkness.
Yes.
The darkness is an opportunity for you to show that you're a star.
Yes.
Everybody should be who they are. The sun shines. Those who feel that hatred is their path, fine. But you who know that love is your strength, don't allow what others are doing to change your own fundamental nature.
Don't they say it is better to light a candle than to forever curse the darkness? If you curse the darkness from now till kingdom come, you achieve nothing. It's darkness. And they say that when you keep talking about evil, you expand
empowering it.
You are empowering it. You expand evil.
Yeah.
The only way by which you deal with evil and remove it is speak good.
Speak good.
Speak light.
Point to the light.
Yes.
People are lost in the darkness.
Yes.
There is not all this. I'm not saying it has its place, critique, criticize, blah. But fundamentally, there has to be very strong voices pointing to the light, pointing to redemption, pointing to salvation, constantly saying, "This is the way." Walk it.
On this note, we will bring this segment to an end. I have been speaking to Dike Chukwumerije, a performer of the word, an artist of the spoken word. He's a lawyer, but do you go to court? So he is one who is bringing alive once again an art form that our people have almost forgotten about. An art form, meaning the spoken word, as something to relish, something to cultivate, as a craft. That speaking is a craft, a skill that we need to all learn, so that between husband and wives there can be good communication, strategic communication. Parents and children. Yep. We are not paying sufficient attention to the spoken word, and perhaps that is why we are where we are. Yeah. Then we have leaders too who have no respect for the spoken word. It's part of the reason why we are where we are. Dike is saying, speak words of peace, and peace will result. Speak progress for Nigeria. Look at the beauty all around us. Celebrate that beauty in art, not just in fine art, but also in the speaking art.
Yeah.
And then you will have beauty, because they say beauty is in the eye of the beholder, and we are saying today beauty is in the mouth of the speaker.
Yes.
Speak that beauty, and beauty will result. And may the Lord, who loves this country and loves the various diverse people of this country, help us bring the present tension to an end.
Amen.
May we have the country of our dream.
Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Dike, for coming once again.